The anime commences with a young boy recollecting the circumstances of his reincarnation. He recounts being subjected to bullying by his peers, which led him to withdraw from the outside world, consumed by a sense of hopelessness and purposelessness. Then, a pivotal moment arrives when he finds himself engrossed in his phone, only to be suddenly enveloped by a radiant light. Within this luminous aura stands a woman who imparts to him that he has been selected for reincarnation. She acquaints him with the intricacies of this unfamiliar realm and encourages him to embrace the opportunity for a fresh start, urging him to relish his newfound life. Upon awakening in the unfamiliar realm, a wave of astonishment washes over him as he gazes upon his infant form. His new life begins within the embrace of a royal lineage, a prominent insignia gracing his chest, an emblem of his regal heritage. Curiously, even in his tender years, echoes of his past existence linger in his consciousness. As he matures, an evaluation of his mystical aptitude is undertaken, revealing an unexpected revelation, a mere duo of magical skills, confined solely to the realm of barrier magic. This revelation elicits a deep-seated frustration within the monarch, who had anticipated a prowess befitting his royal lineage, perhaps even ranking within the 40 to 50 range. Fueled by disappointment, the ruler directs a member of his retinue to discreetly remove the infant to a distant location, while he and his consort agree to perpetuate the falsehood that the child succumbed during childbirth, shielding their realm from the truth. The woman responsible for his reincarnation finds herself confiding in a colleague, her heart heavy with regret. She expresses her frustration that the extraordinary abilities she bestowed upon him remain hidden, concealed by the limitations of a world where measurement is restricted to mere double digits. She discloses her audacious bestowal of 1,002 magical skills upon him. Meanwhile, within the solitude of the forest, the infant is left to his own devices. Struggling to free himself from the confines of his swaddled attire, he recalls what he learned within the palace walls. In a moment of realization, he taps into his knowledge of barrier magic, its potential unfolding before his eyes. This newfound power proves to be exceptionally advantageous, a revelation that leaves him both surprised and empowered. At that very moment, a wild creature emerges stealthily from the shadows, its predatory instincts driving it to seize the defenseless infant. Swiftly, he harnesses the might of his barrier magic, repelling the aggressor's advances. Emboldened by his success, he counters with his offensive, prompting the creature's acknowledgement of defeat. As the tension ebbs, a connection forms between them. The infant introduces himself as Haruto, opting for a name more easily spoken than his former appellation. Through their exchange, Haruto divulges his origin. Hailing from a distant kingdom, abandoned due to his perceived scarcity of magical prowess. Yet, the creature rebuffs this assertion, detecting a wellspring of mana that surpasses any human it has encountered. Intrigued, it queries whether Haruto might be the reincarnation of the fabled Demon King, a notion he affirms outwardly while harboring his inner uncertainty. The creature, now named Flay by Haruto, pledges loyalty and gratitude for sparing its life. As they converse, Haruto succumbs to dizziness, attributing it to hunger. In a surprising turn, Flay metamorphoses into a crimson-haired lady with tails, attempting to nourish him, but ultimately failing. Their exchange is interrupted by an approaching soldier, his intentions set on claiming Haruto. Yet Haruto has already established a mental link with Flay using his barrier magic. Swiftly, Flay voices their refusal, asserting that they cannot be taken by those who initially abandoned them. The soldier employs persuasion, revealing a personal motive tied to his wife's infertility. He beseeches Flay to entrust Haruto into his care, offering her a position as a personal aide, with the stipulation that she remains vigilant in her guardianship. After a tense negotiation, an agreement is reached. Haruto's resting vessel is rendered asunder, a peculiar liquid resembling blood cascading over it. The trio then departs for the soldier's residence, embarking on an unforeseen journey. 9 years have elapsed, and Haruto now warmly greets the soldier he affectionately refers to as his father, along with his mother and his sister Char. Flay, ever dutiful, accompanies Haruto in her role as an assistant. Haruto shares that his initial intention was to depart once his hunger was sated, but the abundance of kindness bestowed upon him compelled him to remain. However, his sole source of contention lies in his strained relationship with Char, his younger sister. During breakfast, Char approaches Flay, inquiring if they can engage in playtime following their meal. Flay hesitates initially, but at Haruto's suggestion, she acquiesces. As the day unfolds, Haruto's mother approaches him, finding him observing Char and Flay at play through the window. She offers insight, suggesting that Char's hesitation to bond with him could stem from her unfamiliarity with boys of his age. This prompts Haruto to question whether Char truly knows his actual age. His mother advises him to spend time with Char and to step outside his room more often. In Haruto's chamber, a duplicate of himself stands as he engages in an introspective dialogue, lamenting his inability to animate or converse with the clone, despite his comprehensive study of barrier magic. Contemplating a departure from his family, he contemplates employing a clone of Flay as a decoy. Just then, his father's voice beckons from outside, leading him to join his father. Outside, his father broaches the subject of sword training, a proposition met with Haruto's lackluster enthusiasm. When given the chance to suggest an alternative interest, Haruto expresses his desire to learn ancient magic. While his father consents to this pursuit, he emphasizes the importance of swordsmanship. Haruto challenges his father's prowess, dubbing him the earth-shattering warhammer, and initiates a spar. Employing his barrier magic, Haruto impressively deflects his father's attack, later engaging in a spirited training session, all while Char observes from the sidelines. Later that day, the family gathers together in a room, Char nestled in her mother's lap. Haruto's father confides his belief that Haruto might be a reincarnated demon, given the enigmatic royal mark on his chest. Despite the uncertainties, their love for Haruto remains steadfast, and they are resolved to support his happiness. Unbeknownst to them, Char has overheard their conversation while pretending to sleep, absorbing their words. Secluded within his room, Haruto revels in the relief that his father's busyness entails a respite from his sword lessons. His tranquility is interrupted by distant clamors, prompting him to activate a magical surveillance camera, which reveals a compound teeming with wounded soldiers. Urgently, he seeks out his father, the leader of the injured troops. His father recounts a mission gone awry, an attempt to confront thieves and bandits that resulted in a devastating ambush and numerous casualties. Departing in annoyance, Haruto encounters Flay on his way out, curtly dismissing her attempts to communicate. Nonetheless, he proceeds to heal the wounded soldiers he encounters along his path. Later, Haruto awakens from slumber to find Flay stationed outside his room. Perplexed by her presence, he recollects his earlier rebuff and extends an apology, encouraging her to speak her mind. She reciprocates the apology, admitting her hesitation due to his previous response. Without further delay, Haruto invites her to accompany him. Together, they locate the hideout of the marauding thieves and bandits, resolute in their decision to eradicate the threat. Departing their home, they take flight, catching the attention of Char, who observes their departure from a window. Within the lair of the bandits, revelry ensues following their apparent victory over Haruto's father and his soldiers. Haruto infiltrates the chamber housing the three bandit leaders, paralyzing their movements. He asserts his intention to extract information, warning that falsehoods will carry dire consequences. Through his inquiries, Haruto deduces a startling revelation. These purported bandits are soldiers from a neighboring kingdom, deployed to sow discord within his realm under the guise of marauders. They disclose an accomplice within his borders who facilitated their incursion. Haruto commands Flay to reduce the fortress to ashes, employing her magic to accomplish the task. As they depart, Haruto resolves to send an anonymous message to his father, illuminating the truth of the encounter. In a chamber, a sentry reads aloud the enigmatic contents of the anonymous message to Haruto's father. Upon absorbing its implications, the father deems it imperative to conduct a thorough investigation into the border guards. At his side during this discourse is Char, who inquires about the fate of the adversaries. In response, her father attributes the resolution to a single entity, Flay, whose formidable abilities surpass his own, leading him to speculate her involvement. This declaration leaves Char with lingering questions, prompting her to leave the room, consumed by uncertainty regarding Haruto's true identity. Subsequently, Char approaches Flay, probing into the possibility of the existence of two Harutos. Her curiosity stems from witnessing Flay and Haruto in flight the previous night, despite encountering him in his room as well. Char notes the absence of an unsettling aura during her nocturnal visit, prompting Flay to reveal that Haruto wields power beyond human comprehension. Flay later conveys the conversation to Haruto, who responds by initiating surveillance on Char, aiming to monitor her activities closely. Inquisitive about the duality in Haruto's presence, Flay inquires, but Haruto dismisses her concerns. As night descends, Haruto rises to attend to nature's call, unaware that Char tails him surreptitiously. In an attempt to engage her, Haruto speaks her name, but she flees at the mere mention. Over the ensuing days, Char persists in trailing him from a distance, a silent observer. During a family breakfast, Haruto's father announces a trip for Char and her mother. Haruto suggests they be accompanied by Flay, who is covertly dispatched on errands by Haruto. Char's unceasing gaze at Haruto during the meal unsettles him, an unspoken tension lingering between them. Haruto receives an urgent notification detailing an attack on Char and his mother through the surveillance he had set up. Swiftly, he establishes a telepathic connection with Char, guiding her to safety and instructing her on evasive maneuvers. Finding refuge in a cave, their mother temporarily departs, motivated to identify the enigmatic helper, a self-proclaimed hero of justice. Employing illusion magic, the cave's entrance becomes concealed. The bandits pursue their quarry, and in a desperate bid to evade capture, Char's mother wields a knife, only to have it shattered, leaving her unconscious. In a timely intervention, Haruto arrives, incapacitating the assailants. Haruto places his mother within the shelter of the cave, assuring Char that aid is on its way before turning his back. Despite his efforts to disguise his presence, Char senses his intimidating aura, deducing his identity. She poses the question of whether he is the hero of justice, and Haruto confirms her suspicion, urging her to safeguard this revelation as a secret. A guard relays news of the attack on Char and her mother to Haruto and his father. While expressing gratitude for the assistance, Haruto's father laments the inability to identify the savior. In a private exchange, Haruto and his father ponder the attack, with Haruto deducing the presence of an inside informant. Eventually, Char, her mother, and Flay return home unscathed. In a surprising gesture, Char embraces Haruto, leaving all present astonished. Char barges into Haruto's room without knocking, and Haruto asks her why she didn't knock. She apologizes, and says that she will knock the next time she comes. Haruto says that she has become very close to him since what happened, and he kind of likes it. She sees some form of video behind him, and asks what that is, and he says they are surveillance cameras. He says that it's a lost form of magic, and Char tells him that there are ancient magic books in the library. They both go to the library, and Char makes Haruto read to her. While he reads, he makes mention of anime, which not most people know about in this world. She then asks him what anime is, and he tells her. She then says that she would like to see some anime. 2 weeks later, Haruto finds a way to connect to the Japanese internet, and he sees that his subscription is still active. He then creates a kid's account for Char and shows her anime. She says she likes it, but can't understand anything. She then begins learning Japanese with the help of Haruto, and within 2 weeks, masters everything. She then starts to watch anime regularly. Haruto then tells her that she can only watch up to 3 hours of anime, as she is now spending most of her time on it, which makes her sad. At dinner, Haruto's parents ask him what he and Char have been up to, and Char says they are studying ancient magic together. Char follows him around, takes a bath with him, and even sleeps together on the same bed, and this makes their mother happy. Haruto's father is seen leaving on a mission to catch the thieves and bandits. While Haruto and Char discuss, Char finds a way to convince him to fight the bad guys. She tells him to transform, and Haruto transforms into an anime character. Char begs to come with him, but he refuses and sets up a camera so she can watch him instead. He finds the bandits and blocks them with magic. But to make things interesting for Char, he goes ahead to fight them, beating them all with no issues. As he is about to leave, his father arrives and asks for his name, which he says is still pending. His father asks for his goal, and says his goal is to keep and enforce justice, and he flies away. Char makes him continue to fight bad guys, and he becomes popularly known as the Black Knight. After several months of studying ancient magic, Haruto is finally able to make his clone copy of him speak. The clone does everything like Haruto, and it is really hard to differentiate who the real Haruto is. Char sees Haruto and his clone one day, and is shocked. Prince Laius and Princess Marianne visit Haruto's father and his family. Prince Laius is a pesky and entitled person, and his sister is the opposite. He keeps finding fault in everything, and even challenges Haruto to a duel to teach him manners. Haruto checks Laius's magic level and sees that he has just 940. Haruto wins the duel even though he wasn't interested. Laius gets angry and throws fireballs at Haruto, but he uses his barrier magic to absorb them all. Haruto then threatens to attack Laius, but he apologizes. Marianne also apologizes for her brother's behavior, and he says it's fine. She then asks if he truly has level 2 magic, and he says yes, and leaves. On his way, he says it is possible that the royal family, his real parents, might be looking into him, since they know about his magic level. And that was Am I Actually the Strongest Anime Recap Part 1. I really hoped that you liked this video, as I had a blast making it. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with one of your friends, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.